This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about focusing on the process to get your ex back. Now, what does that mean, focusing on the process? I'm going to use a football reference, so ladies, forgive me, but this will make a lot of sense, even if you don't like football. There's a famous coach named Nick Saban. Most of you have heard of him here in the United States. And when he first started coaching, he was at a team here called Michigan State. And one year they were playing one of the top teams in the country. And Michigan State was not ranked. This team was ranked top 3. And so on paper, and all the people who predicted the game said there's no way that Michigan State can win this game. And Coach Saban was looking at it on paper. The starters for the other team were famous and were much better. And if you just looked at the overall picture, there's no way Michigan State could possibly win. And so that's when it occurred to Saban. Then I won't look at the big picture. Because he knew, and he told his players, we can compete with them one play, right? We can beat them on one play. We can make a long pass. We can stop the run. We can dominate them for one play. And that's really all we can do, because we can't control the scoreboard. We can't control the outcome, but we can control the moment, or we can actually get close to controlling the moment if we stay in the seconds in front of us. As a matter of fact, he told his players, if you look at the scoreboard, you will be disciplined. Like they would have to sit out the next game. They would have to run extra after practice. They were not allowed to look at the scoreboard. They were only allowed to focus right here in the present on the block they had to make, the run they had to make, the pass they had to make. That was their whole world, was that moment. And so that has actually changed or even revolutionized college football in terms of how coaches look at things. Because now most of them will talk about following the process, not focusing on the outcome, focusing on the process, because that will get you the outcome that you want. Second, that's too far in the future, and so you can't handle it. And third, if you focus too much into the future, then you neglect the present. And so it's so important to stay in the moment with the process and to take the next step. So what is the process? I'm going to talk about 4 very important things that you need to do and focus on if you want your ex back. So before I get to number 1, take a quick second and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when I have more videos like this. So what is the process? The first step in the process, possibly the most difficult one, probably one that most of you need to go ahead and do, because a lot of you who are watching my videos are still in contact with your ex. And so the first thing you need to do is give them the breakup by going into no contact. And that means you don't initiate contact with them. And if they do something small, like a post of yours on social media, you don't react, because it will take an actual reach out and a real message from them before you will respond. But no contact basically means that you are not initiating contact. And that's how you give them the breakup, and why it's so important to give them the breakup. People will try to argue about this, and it's important for you to know that I'm not just saying this because I think it sounds good, that this is actually based on observation, 2 decades. In fact, it's based on observation of thousands of cases. And so this isn't just, well, I saw one case and it didn't work, so therefore it doesn't work. That's not how you do science. Because if you want to get scientific with this thing, you look at the numbers. You look at the large body of observation. And this works more times than not. But basically, if you refuse to give them the breakup, if you keep talking to them, pestering them, asking them if their feelings have changed, asking them to reconsider, going to see them, and just not giving them what they think it is that they want, then they will see what they're trying to do as an escape from you. And it will build up this breakup that they want being away from you. It will be seen as something that they just can't get to, and that it's so special and beautiful and wonderful because you won't let them get there. So don't keep it from them. The best thing you can possibly do when you are not wanted, or when this person doesn't think that they want you, is to bow out gracefully. You're not going to force your way in. You're not going to make this person stay with you, which is not mentally very stable, but you are not going to try to force them to do what you want when they think that they want something else. And so you have to give them the breakup, and they actually have to experience the consequences of the breakup, because if you're trying to get them back and you keep contacting them and talking to them and being around them, they aren't having to experience not having you because you're right there. And so they don't know for sure if they even want it. They have to experience it. And that's what so many people have learned. When you give them the breakup they think they want and you let them experience it, it's amazing how many times they realize they don't want it. It's also an incredible demonstration of strength to show someone you can stay away from them, especially when you realize that they don't want to be with you or they don't know if they want to be with you, that you can stay away, that that's not something that attracts you, that you can take no for an answer, that your life will go on even if they don't want to be with you. Those are things they need to see because it's attractive to see that in a person. It's not attractive to see the other person begging, pleading, appearing that they can't go on without the person who's dumped them, and that kind of thing. So even though it might sound counterintuitive, giving your ex the breakup, stopping the fight where you basically just disappear, that does not mean that you reach out and say, okay, I'm giving you the breakup, or that you write a closure letter. Most of the time, you don't need to do that. Most of the time, the closure is in the fact that they want to break up with you. And so a lot of people will say, well, how do I go into no contact? What do I do? You just disappear. You just stop contacting them. That's even good for the mystery element. So some people say, well, what if I've already been talking to them? Have I blown it? Though it's not the best thing. It can be an interesting mix when you just stop cold turkey because it makes your ex wonder what in the world is going on. And so it can build some of that mystery. But either way, in 90% of cases, the best thing to do is to just go into no contact. There are some situations where I will tell the person you need to apologize for this, kind of clean the slate a little bit. But usually that's something that would be pretty intense. It would be insults, some horrible disagreement where you were yelling and fighting and arguing and you were definitely the guilty party. Or if you did something that caused them to break up with you that you haven't apologized for. If you've already apologized for it, you've done enough. Now it's time to sit back and let all this simmer and develop within them. Number 2 is to focus on self-improvement. And a lot of people talk about that to the point that it's just kind of noise. But the biggest thing you can possibly do, look at yourself in 3 ways: physically, intellectually, and emotionally. If you see areas of improvement, work on that. Not for your ex, but for you. But it will also have the beautiful side effect of causing you to be more attractive all around, so that when your ex does interact with you again, which in most cases there will be something, even if it's just seeing them out somewhere or they want to just have coffee and just kind of see what they feel. That's very common, where they want to meet up with you and just kind of see if what they are feeling is right, that they do want to pursue something with you, that they are reconsidering, and they kind of want to be around you so they can see how that feels and make sure that everything else lines up. And so when and if they do that, if you are more attractive all around, it's like a home run. It will attract them even more and make it an easier decision for them to just come out and tell you, I want us to try. I want to get back together. I want to work on this, that kind of thing. And it's something that you can always work on. You can always improve. There's always better. And so that's where your focus needs to be. I'll get into more of that in just a minute. Number 3 is also very important, and it's focusing on and building the other relationships in your life. And I'm not talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about friends and family, because the more you're around people, the more you feel that love, the more attractive you can be emotionally and just from a presentation standpoint, because people who feel loved by lots of people and liked, and they get to be in social circles and they have company and fun times with people that they're close to, they present as more attractive. It's just one of the principles of nature. And you can use that to your advantage by focusing on those relationships. And I tell people a lot, become your own planner. That means getting out your phone, going through your contacts, and seeing who you haven't spoke to in a while, who you haven't seen. Have coffee with them, go bowling, rock climbing, taking a walk, go to the driving range, all kinds of things that you can do. Just start planning things with people and fill out your calendar. Dinners, movie nights, all kinds of things that you can do with friends and family. So get in your phone, get in your contacts, and start scheduling those things. It will be helpful to you because it'll take your focus off the breakup. There'll be a shoulder to cry on in some ways, but don't overdo that. And make yourself busy building your relationships. And number 4 is proper response when they return. And I'm going to talk about that, but first, get some information on my emergency breakup kit. I'll link to it in the description below, but it's the culmination of my 20 years in the relationship coaching service. It will help you get your ex back as a powerful guide to do that. Does it work 100% of the time? No, but nothing does, but it works a lot. It's very helpful. The emergency breakup kit. More information on that at myexpatcoach.com or in the link in the description below. So proper response to their return is a lot of times what people do is they have the wrong response when their ex returns. It's too quick. It's taking them back too soon. And what it does is when you do that, it's anticlimactic. It takes away the anticipation, it takes away that they feel they need to earn you back. It lowers the value of the relationship and of you. And usually those type of situations where you take an ex back just really quickly like that, they can work, but a lot of times they have a fading effect or they have some sputtering and stuttering as you're trying to grow, and it's not as good as it could be. The best thing you could do that gives you good odds long-term of this relationship lasting and of you two not repeating the mistakes of the past is that you take them back slowly. And that means that they don't get a definite yes. So let's say they reach out to you. You've used the no contact rule, even though it's been difficult, and it's been, let's say, 75 days. It can take longer, it can be shorter, but I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say it's 75 days. Now that's a lot. And if you're able to do that, then you're doing really well. You're showing a lot of strength. You're giving them the breakup. You're not chasing. You are making yourself appear as attractive as you really are, and maybe even more so because you are mysterious now and your ex has to come face to face with the possibility that they could lose you. That's terrific. And so a lot of times they will reach out because they're missing you. They're worried that they might lose you permanently. And this could have been a mistake, that this breakup could have been a mistake. And now what if you won't take them back? That's something that they will likely wrestle with. So they reach out and they want to see you face to face. They want to have lunch. They want to have a drink or coffee or whatever. And they say to you, I think I want to get back together, or I think we can work on this and get back together. And the temptation, because this is what you have wanted so badly, is to say, yes, absolutely. I missed you. I love you. And you have this grand reuniting moment and you hear music in the background and everything seems wonderful. But that's when, in many ways, it feels to this person who thinks that maybe they've lost you, that maybe breaking up with you was actually a mistake. Now they start to question all that because it was too quick. They didn't get to work and earn it and feel the building, feel the anticipation, see you two growing together, having new experiences. They didn't get any of that. They felt like they just got it all back at once. And so it makes them question that whole episode they felt where they were worried that there was potential of loss that they didn't want. And so when you take them back too quickly, it makes them even wonder if that was something they should have worried about. It also, even though this is immature, it makes them view you as a little less value if you take them back quickly. And so all that attraction they were feeling, it's like watering that down. And so this is really important because it's going to be difficult. You're going to want to take them back quickly. And people will even tell me when I have coached them and I've said, you cannot take them back quickly. And I've guided them on that, which I'm going to get to in just a second. But a lot of times they will tell me, I got there face to face and she was telling me or he was telling me that they want to get back together. And I just gave in. I just became this puddle of emotion. And Coach Lee, I did the exact opposite of what you told me. And now I haven't heard from them in a couple of days. And that's where I'm trying to spare you from this. I want to help. I don't want to just make videos. I want to make a difference. And I know that I have, and I know that my coaches have. And so it's important that you hear me out on this and that you embrace this and commit to doing it this way. And that is when they say something like that they think they want to get back together, they're reconsidering it, maybe you two could work on it, that you say something very close to this. It doesn't have to be these exact words, but these words have worked really well. And that is to say, I'm open to that, but I just want to take it one day at a time. You didn't tell them no, which would be frustrating, might make them angry, might make them doubt themselves to the point that they actually don't approach you again. There's all kinds of problems that can come from telling them no, even though some people will say, tell them no the first time. A lot of times they never hear from that person again, just like ignoring them. And I have videos on that, so I'm not going to get into that at the moment. But you want to give them just enough that they feel like they have made progress, but that they feel that they are not there yet, that they haven't gotten everything they want yet, but they've gotten enough progress that there is some reward. So they do, the way that their mind works, they do get some reward in their mind and in their emotions, but that they are not satisfied. They want more because you want the other person to want more of you. You don't want the other person to feel like they have their fill, that this is all they want. And so This way, they get to feel like they earn you back, which actually raises your value. And they prefer it this way because we all want to be with someone we feel has high value, that is super attractive, not just to us, but maybe to other people. But then we don't want them to act on that. That's just human nature. It's okay. And so the way it works is we figure if they are high value and we have made this mistake by breaking up with them and possibly hurt our chances with them, then they probably will expect us to earn it back. And that's a scary phrase, earn it back, but that's what actually needs to happen. And so it's a slower process. It might move slower than they want, but that's okay as long as you are progressing. The relationship is rebuilding and progressing, but it's not 100% there yet. That's what you want. That's how they will see you, as the prize. And you should see them as the prize. And eventually you should both feel like the prize for each other. But right now, this other person has some humble pie and some earning to do because they were the one. They dismissed the relationship, and that's a big deal. And you need to show you're strong enough that you are not just going to take them back all at once, that you think that this needs to move slowly because you're not certain. You're open, but you're not certain. That's how you need to present it. And so when in doubt, when you're in no contact and it's difficult and you're thinking about the breakup and asking those questions like, will they ever come back? Will I get them back? Will we ever be together? Will we see each other again? Those are normal and you will ask those questions, but focus on your list, the list of those things that I mentioned. What's next? What can I improve further? Who do I need to go have lunch with that I haven't seen in a while? And remind yourself that this is a process that takes time, that even when they start to think that maybe they want to get back together, most of the time they are going to try to stick with it because they assume that those feelings of wanting to get away from you will resurface. They'll think about the relationship, they'll reflect on it, and they will try to stick with it, partly because most people realize that if they say, I want to break up, and then a few days later, no, I want to get back together, that seems a bit off. And so they try to stick with it. So keep that in mind, that time is on your side and that it will take time, that this is not an overnight thing. They have to feel the loss. And that's the next video that I want you to watch. It's very important after this one to learn about what happens when your ex starts to feel that loss and wonder if they made the wrong decision. I have that video here in the end screen. You can click on it and watch that one. And it's like the continuation of this video that will help you in your learning and will help you know what to expect and know what's going on when your ex actually starts to feel the loss and wonder if they made a mistake by breaking up with you. It's very important. Click on this here in the end screen, and I'll see you in that video.